So last night, our president was on television on 60 Minutes, and it was an amazing softball game. But the president announced a couple of things. The pandemic is over. You know, I know. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Pandemic's
I'm
over.
surprised to hear that. I mean, I've been saying it for a long time. I know you have as well.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised to hear the president saying it.
Yeah. He also said he vows to get in control of inflation, but inflation is basically even. Here's cut 4, please.
Mr. President, as you know, last Tuesday, the annual inflation rate came in at 8.3%. The stock market nosedived. People are shocked by their grocery bills. What can you do better and faster?
Well, first of all, let's put this in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Inflation rate month to month was just an inch.
Stop,
Hardly
please.
at all.
Stop right there. Month to month is not how you measure inflation. He knows this. It's not 8.2 to 8.2 month to month, meaning it's flat. It is 8.2% higher than last, September or August. Last August, a year ago. So remember the high inflation that we all had, and we're like, whoa, prices are out of control. It's up another 8.2%. It's not flat.
It's an annualized rate.
Gosh, these people, the lies, I don't know how they sleep at night. All right, here you go. Next.
Oh, you're not arguing that 8.3 is good news.
No, I'm not saying it is good news, but it was 8.2 or 8.2 before. I mean, it's not, I can make it sound like all of a sudden, my God, it went to 8.2%. It's
the highest inflation rate, Mr. President, in 40 years.
I got that, but guess what we are? We're in a position where for the last several months, it hasn't spiked. It has just it's been basically even.
This is incredible. He's basically arguing the fact that that the inflation has hit the American people for a longer period of time is good news.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you've dealt with this terrible problem for 6 months or 12 months, not just the one. So therefore, you shouldn't worry about it. Like, no, the problem is existing and it has peaked, and we've stayed right near the peak here for month after month after month after month. That just keeps hitting families over and over and over again. If it was just a 1 month spike and it went away, that wouldn't be that big of a problem. The problem is that it's going on for now a year or more, and he has seemingly no way of controlling it.
Okay, and he went on to talk about gas prices. Look, core inflation, and you know this, I don't have to say this. If somebody needs to do their own homework, just go grocery shopping. Go grocery shopping. What were you paying last year? What were you paying 2 years ago? The prices are through the roof. Now, gasoline has come down off of its 5-year high. Why? Because gasoline, he has been draining our strategic oil reserves. Do we still have that chart I showed last week? Stu hasn't seen it yet. This is amazing. Our oil reserves are on a reverse hockey stick. It is just plummeting down. And what are we going to do? We are getting rid of our strategic oil reserves for what? An election. That's why. Now, energy crisis in Europe is going to spread here because it's not just what Russia is doing. That's not the only problem. The problem is they are ahead of us on all this ESG stuff. I told you last week, and I've always told you that I'm bad at timing, and I am. This time I was 3 days ahead. I couldn't believe it when I opened up the paper on Saturday, and I'm reading about how Germany is now nationalizing 3 of their power plants. I told you nationalization would come. Nationalization will come here as well. And then we become Venezuela. What's going to happen is these energy prices are not going to be affordable by any stretch of the imagination. They're already going through this in England. But England right now is so focused, and the media is so focused on, can we put the poor woman into the ground, please. But they're so focused on all of this. And I don't know if the media will ever tell you what's really going on. But they're now talking about printing at the central bank, the Bank of London or of England. They're now talking about more money printing because they don't have the money in their coffers to be able to pay for everybody's electric bills because they've promised they would pay anything over £2,500 a month. Well, so that's just going to drive inflation in the UK through the roof. It will devalue their British pound, and it will force them to nationalize these companies because these companies will not be able to deal with the price caps. And so the government will say, see, they can't do it. The free market just doesn't work. And they will nationalize. This is coming. It's coming here. By the way, something else you probably didn't know is last week Putin met with President Xi. President Xi, they are meeting about a new currency. I've told you for 20 years, the currency will be debased. It is. That's why we have inflation. Our currency is being debased. So, what do you do about it? Everybody told me, Glenn, it's never going to crash. We're the best out there. Everybody else's currency. And I've said for 20 years, do you really believe that no one at any time will draw a line in the sand and say, enough is enough? We can do better than this. That's exactly what China, Russia, and the BRIC countries are doing right now. Developing a new currency that will put us into a tailspin. And our government knows it, but they're not telling you. Why else would they be talking about a digital currency? The White House, in surprise of all surprises, has come out this weekend and said, we recommend the Fed goes to a new digital currency, a new digital dollar. Why? Because the dollar is going to collapse. I urge you not to take anything that I have just said as gospel. Look it all up yourself. It is critical that you know the truth and you know how to find the truth. The best way to find the truth, the best starting place is who's telling you you have to listen to me because I have the truth or I have, quote, the science, and you will not be allowed to question anything. Any question of what I believe is true makes you my enemy. Anyone who tells you that does not have the truth on their side. That's the first test. Then you have to go and explore all sides. And I urge you and your neighbors and your friends to do that. Time is becoming critical. So the White House has said now that they're going to they recommend creating a new digital dollar. We told you they were going to do that, a year and a half ago, because it has already been done. I think it's called the Madison Project or Hamilton, probably the Hamilton Project up in at MIT. Do you remember, Stu? It's been a while since we've talked about this. But now they are releasing their first ever comprehensive framework for responsible development of digital assets. And Biden also said this, and I'm going to play this, and then I want to take a break and comment on it, because when you are redesigning a world, and there are several people doing that now, everybody who is a globalist is doing that. They're dividing up the world and taking their own positions and hunkering down. we have unfortunately are on the receiving end of China. Now, China, do they have the will? Yes. Do they have the people? Yes. Do they have the money? No, but neither do we. But we are on a collision course now with China, and I'll give you the update on that. But first, let me play what Joe Biden said yesterday. Cut 1.
If there's a one China policy, then Taiwan makes their own judgments about their independence. We are not moving, we're not encouraging their being independent. That's their decision.
But would U.S. forces defend the island?
Yes, if in fact there was an unprecedented attack.
After our interview, a White House official told us U.S. policy has not changed. Officially, the U.S. will not say whether American forces would defend Taiwan. But the commander-in-chief had a view of his own.
So unlike Ukraine, to be clear, sir, U.S. forces, U.S. men and women would defend Taiwan in the event of a Chinese invasion.
Yes.
Is that the stable leadership you voted for?
If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be sure to see similar videos from Blaze TV with the added bonus of signaling YouTube that your voice and opinion still matters. And if you're looking for more great conservative content, check out one of the 2 videos suggested here.